Thanks for joining me. Today is going to be one of the key problems I see in CPA firms out there and causes a lot of frustrations to a CPA or an accountant. In fact, to share with you a personal story, I'd worked with the national CPA firm for 6 years, wanted to go in business for myself, and so I went back to my hometown and started a CPA firm. And it exploded. It absolutely exploded. And all of a sudden, I was sitting there working 4 to 5 months of a year where I would go to work early in the morning, work until I just could not focus on the numbers anymore, and would go home at night. And the next morning I'd start doing the same thing, and I was working 60 hours a week. Everything in that office, everything, flowed through me. Virtually nothing went out of the office unless it went through me. I had created a monster. I hated it. So I called up the partner in charge of the largest CPA firm, and I said to him, I said, Vern, come on over. I'm going to make a deal you can't refuse. He said, I'll be right there. And he came over. I said, I just don't like being a CPA. I don't like doing the work. I've created a monster where I've got so much work I can't get to all of it anymore. And he said, Johnny said, why don't you come with me? You've got a talent. You built the fastest growing CPA firm in the history of Tallahassee. You should not get out of the industry. I said, Vern, I hate it. Now, why did I hate it? Because I had built a business totally relying on me. Everything was relying upon me. Everything didn't, like I said, a penny was being earned, I had my hands in it. And I got out of the CPA profession for a while. During that period of time, I read a book. It's called E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Folks, it changed the way I viewed business. It changed the way I viewed a CPA firm. And that's when I went back into the profession, started the franchise. This was 25 years ago. It's an outstanding book. It says why most small businesses don't work and what you can do about it. If you've not read it, it will change the way that you run your business. It's easy to read. I promise you, I can't emphasize enough. You need to read this book. I got the saying, having ordinary people producing extraordinary results. Why do you think H&R Block is such a success? They figured out a way in which they can take a housewife and let her do certain returns. Now, don't get upset when I say H&R Block. I'm not saying they're better than we are in doing tax returns. I'm just saying that's what they've done. They've used this philosophy to build a huge business. You look at the payroll services. Now, they don't take just anybody. I mean, their payroll processors are well-trained individuals. But I'm telling you, you've got to look at your business. You've got to figure out ways to develop systems and put together processes in which by putting together this process, a person is virtually impossible for them, if they follow the system, for them to make an error. But you want to build a business in which ordinary people are producing extraordinary results, where everything does not flow through you. That's the way you can build a business. This was a required reading for my franchise owners. I believed in it totally. I believed in it so much, virtually every client that I picked up, I would give them a copy of that book and tell them, you need to read this book. It'll change the way you look at your business. I don't care what kind of business you have. So I don't know if I've convinced you or not. I'm just telling you, it turned the way that I looked at a CPA practice. Turned it around totally. And I think it will help you. It's very easy to read. After you read it, you'll see what I'm talking about. So really, that's really what this is about. There's no way I can do a better job than what Michael Gerber did in his book. So I'm not going to even talk to you about this. You need to read the book. This is a system, and I told you I'd talk to you about it every session we talk. You've got to have a marketing strategy. It has to be a system, a turnkey system in which clients come to you on a consistent and predictable basis. It's all about a system, and we've got the system put together. All you've got to do is look at it, understand it, and implement it. And we make that easy. So thanks for joining me today. But this is, you can't build a practice, or I shouldn't say you can build a practice and be totally frustrated like I was. Don't do that. Spend the time, read the book. It'll make a difference. Thanks for joining me.